Welcome to the Filipino American Woman Project, a podcast that strengthens Filipino voices one conversation at a time through all things life, culture, and personal development. We're your hosts, Jen Amos and Nani Dominguez-Smith, and this episode is brought to you by our family on thenewfilipina.com. All right, let's go ahead and get into today's conversation. Hello, family. It's Nani, back once again to yap some more. Just kidding. Today's episode is a follow-up to our last conversation with Roanne DeGia-Samuels and Marjorie Ware on what to talk about in therapy for Filipino American women. And in this episode, we are really turning the mic to you and inviting you to actually apply the concepts and ideas that we discussed in that conversation to your daily life. So whether you have been going to therapy for years or you never thought about going to therapy before hearing that conversation, we want to meet you where you're at. So these are 5 journal prompts or just questions that you can use to reflect on where you're at. So whenever you're ready, get out your pen and paper or pull up the notes app on your phone, however you like to reflect, and write down these questions. So the first question is, habitually, what do you do when you're experiencing stress? So inevitably, when stress pops up in your life, what habits do you either consciously or unconsciously turn to cope? The second question is, are you pleased with these go-to habits, or is this something that you'd like to change? The third question is, list 1 to 3 things you notice instantly about a person that help you determine how comfortable you are around them. So for instance, maybe you feel more comfortable around someone who shares some type of lived experience with you. For example, I feel more comfortable automatically around other moms, knowing that we share that lived experience. Or maybe you feel more comfortable with people that share some aspect of your identity, such as being a Filipino American woman, or being a woman, or being Filipino American. However, you identify whatever is central to your identity, to find that in another person automatically helps you put your guard down. 1 to 3 things. The fourth question is to list 1 to 3 things you could be giving more attention to in your life. In other words, these are areas you'd like to grow in. This might be a relationship with a narcissistic parent. This might be getting to know your inner child. This might be navigating a transition in your life that you've been avoiding or you don't want to deal with. Maybe you're unsure about your next academic or career move. What are 1 to 3 things that you could be giving more attention to? And the last question is, historically, what have you done to navigate big life transitions? All right. Well, we hope you found those reflection questions useful, and hopefully you got, at the very least, a good journal session out of them. If you feel so inclined, please share your reflections with us. We'd love to hear them. You can DM us on Instagram, you can email us, or you can ping us on thenewfilipino.com, which is also our app, where you can get access to us 24/7 from your back pocket. We would love to hear them and chat more with you about where you're at in your therapy journey. All right, well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for indulging me in this exercise. I hope you found it fruitful. I hope that you have walked away with some new insight about yourself that you didn't have before. And before I let you go, I want to leave you on a positive note with a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. And the quote goes, "If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be." Have a blessed day, y'all.
Hey, thanks for listening to The Tifa Project with your co-hosts, Jen Amos and Nani Dominguez-Smith. This show was produced by Jen Amos, written by Nani Dominguez-Smith, and edited by Dennis Regalado. If you enjoy our show and want to join our mission of strengthening Filipino voices, we encourage you to join our family on thenewfilipino.com. All right, we'll see you in thenewfilipino.com, or we'll catch you in the next conversation. Bye for now.